Welcome back to more Tsukihime. So at the end of the last part, I figured out, or I remembered rather, what Roa says in that bad ending. Which is, oh, since you're about to die, I'm just gonna let you know, this is my lair now. You fool! Fell for the oldest trick in the book. An alternate universe where I don't die. So I'm here. Back to this choice, and I guess the school, perhaps. It's even, with all the ellipses, it even looks different. The fact that it's a question. Also, a couple parts ago, I did mention that I did want the parts this week to be longer. The part before this was pretty just regular, like it really wasn't long. In fact, I think the parts lately have been shorter than how I started out. Just to now that I'm doing 2 a week, I just try to make them shorter now, and especially more consumable because I know like when I used to post like 3-hour parts for Stay Night. Bit overwhelming to watch, even to like sift through. Even if you're looking for my reaction to specific moments, it's kind of a pain to just like go through that much. I'm sure some of you liked it, but still, I'm gonna do my best to make this part in particular much longer than last part. So let's see how it goes. Concerned about what happened this afternoon, I come to my school. Thinking back, Archived was strange when we were here earlier. There's no logic to it, but if she's just wandering around, I think she may end up here. There's no sign of anyone, not even a single sound. It also, like, makes me think back to where did Roa pop up in the CO route? Here at the school, right? And also, when Ark came here earlier in the route, she said something was off about the school, or she felt something there. And I was like, huh, maybe did she feel something within Shiki? But obviously not. She's around Shiki all the time. She can't really, like, she wouldn't be able to make that connection specifically, but with Roa's lair here, that's probably what she felt. Not even a single sound, okay. But still, I feel like there's someone in the building. Something. Without the presence of the sun, the school building has changed into an ominous place. Let's go in, Shiki. I don't have time to hesitate. Encouraging myself verbally, I walk inside the building. There's no one on the first floor. I feel a numb sensation behind my neck. Ignoring it, I walk up to the second floor. Oh yeah. Like the way he's feeling weird now, and just what leads to the bad ending during the next day where Shiki's like blanking, like flashing out in class, like just blacking out completely the classes, and it just goes forward in time, like the influence of the life link. I think in a certain part in a route, it just matures to that point, and Shiki has a hard time dealing with it. I arrive on the second floor. No one here. No one here. No one here. But on my back, a soft, cold sensation like the belly of a snake covers me. Who's there? I whirl around. I think there was... oh boy. Like a snake, huh? Eh? I hear a stabbing sound. In the next instant, my chest is sliced open. Blood flows forth. I'm stabbed from behind as if to open my old wound. Ah, my body falls. I don't know what's going on. Everything fades. In the last instant, I see a scene from a distant summer day repeating in my... Wait, did I just get another bad ending again? Do I have to go to the commercial district? Oh, son of a fuck, never mind. I thought I figured shit out. Not really. We can take Ciel since he's like, sure. Is this different than the other one? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Hello, I am the teacher of this classroom, Ciel. For the 6th period class, let's think about the basics of finding people. To be straightforward, Tono-kun does not know how to find people. Please consider the reason why she ran away, why, where, and to do what. If you piece these together, you will find an answer. In other words, she got hungry, so she went into the alley to do some sucking. Ah. Right. The bloodlust thing. Because that's the reason why she ran away. I thought she was running away to like hide herself, like to shelter herself from anyone, but it might be too much at this point. Nonsense. Violent Ciel. Glasses. Indian. I beg your pardon? This session is finished. Please continue enjoying the main storyline. Oh god. Yeah? What is it, Xiao? Why are you pulling out something like a shotgun and a machine gun and a Vulcan cannon? Ark! India has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Oh my, Glasses got pissed off. Yeah. Whoosh, sound effect. The production. Okay, alright, let's go back. I guess it's too much for Ark right now, so we gotta stop her from making a bad decision. She probably hasn't been tempted like this in so long. I'll search the shopping district. Even though she was in so much pain, she's not the kind of person to rest because of it. She told me to go back. In other words, she was saying she won't be going back. I think she plans on finding the vampire by herself. Then I'll go to the shopping district and find the vampire or the dead before she does. Arcuite can't find them, but I can spot the dead if I take off my glasses. Alright. Taking off my glasses and grimacing from the slight headache, I run to the shopping district. Ugh. The pain races through my forehead. I'm not particularly concentrating on looking for lines, but it seems running through town without my glasses on is a huge burden on my brain. Damn it, still, I'm not finding anything. All the people walking through the shopping district have normal lines on them. I don't see anyone painted with the disjointed scribbles I saw before. Ow. I rub my temples with my fingers. Also, I'm thinking now, cause yeah, like Shiki said, like, I considered maybe Ark was going to find Roa or going to the school to see Roa or something. I don't know. Cause that's why I was like, well, he said he's at the school. Maybe Xiao went there in her bloodlust, and I have no fucking clue. But this makes more sense. I rub my temples with my fingers. As long as I have my glasses off, this headache will only get worse. But still, I can't give up this easily. Taking a deep breath, I start to run through the shopping district once more. I start to pant from exertion. The exhaustion from running coupled with the pain in my head makes me nauseous. No matter how many times I run around, I can't find any dead or anything out of the ordinary. Lifting up my hand to my forehead, I feel a feverish heat. It really does feel like I have a high fever. Damn it, I'm not done yet. Posture check. I tell myself this as I start to run once more. And then... not here, but somewhere farther away. In a narrow alley between two buildings, I can see something like sparks flying in the air. No, more accurately, it feels like the points of death are shooting forth and disappearing. There's no mistake. It's exactly the same as when Arcuite defeated the dead before. She, in that condition, is fighting by herself. Found her. Forgetting my pain and weariness, I dash towards the alley. The entrance to the alley. I run to the narrow path between the buildings. Death is flying through the air and fading away. How many is she fighting? There's an enormous amount of it. Gah. I can hardly bear it. As I run to the alley, my spine groans in protest. As if a saw was slowly but surely slicing through my spine, the pain works its way from inside me. My instincts scream at me. They say where I'm going is too dangerous and I have to go back. Shut up. But that goes without saying. The amount of death there isn't normal. Inside, I know something terrible is happening inside this alley, but I can't turn back now. I can't leave Arcuite alone. If I run away here, she might go off and die. I can't shake off that feeling, and I enter the alley filled with death. What? My mind freezes. What I see is surreal. Scattered all across the ground are the figures of numerous people. Faceless, limbless, their stomachs sliced open, the corpses bathed entirely in crimson. Oh, on the wall, the ground, even on the moon overhead. Wait, what? Everything here is just red. A dull, sickening sound. The last one, the last human shape full of lines expires from her hands. With a single hand, she smashes the head of the dead into the wall, squishing it like a tomato. As if not satisfied, she tears the headless body vertically in half and smashes it onto the ground. Shiki, I don't know if you should be here. Arcuite, Although maybe he'll be able to calm her down. The world is only filled with red and the moonlight. In the center of it all stands Arcuide. She doesn't notice I am here. She only looks up at the moon in a trance and breathing heavily. I can't speak. The pain inside me reaches a feverish pitch. It seems like the saw has cut all the way through. Creak, creak. My entire mind is screaming. I shouldn't be here. I don't want to die, it shouts. Then Arcuide's eyes suddenly shift. Oh man, it's such a terrifying just eye on Arcuide. Her eyes aren't her usual crimson, but a golden flare. It's not that our eyes have met. It's just that I looked at those eyes. Thump. My blood races through my entire body and my mind is jolted. At first, a sense of overwhelming crisis. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be in front of that thing. It will kill you. You can't stand up to it. That creature is on an entirely different level. It's a bit sad to hear, like, this. Not a matter of higher or lower, but something beyond evaluation. Before that thing, just being there means death. Thump. My entire body throbs. At first, it was fear. Then a desire to kill. Because that thing shouldn't exist. Whoa! So kill it. Hurry up and kill it. Kill it here. Kill it now. In the name of this blood. Take that thing here and destroy it. Alright, calm down, Roa. My heart pounds furiously. I know there's no way I can face it, but my entire body screams for me to kill it. What a contradiction. Is it telling me to kill it even though I know it's going to kill me? Is it telling me I don't want to be killed, so kill instead? No. I'm not here. Those eyes, I must not look at those golden eyes. I know this, but I can't escape her eyes. Thump. Thump. My blood boils. The stimulating throb of my blood. But there's something else that tries to burst through my consciousness. Why do I want to kill? Are you going to kill before being killed because you don't want to die? No, that's not a reason. There's no need for a reason to kill. Be honest, Tonoshiki. Already, from a long time ago, you wanted to take this woman and... Shut up. No, your reason and conscience should shut up. That's how it should be. I just want her. I want Arcuide. Remember the feeling from that time. You knew from the first time you saw her. Since that time you killed that creature with your hands and lost your virginity as a killer. Yikes. Yes. I want all of it. Her heart, her body, her tears, her saliva, her blood, her flesh, sin and punishment, desire and impatience. My breathing is out of control. I can't get a grip on my mind. Her eyes are consuming me. Those swaying golden eyes. That is something that cannot be killed no matter how much I kill. Shiki? Arcuide realizes I'm here. Oh, there are her usual crimson eyes. As soon as she sees I am fixated to her eyes, she changes them to their crimson color. But by now, it's far too late. I bring out my knife and push Arcuide down. Whoa! Her powerless body is easy to push. I straddle her. One arm at her neck, the other arm holding my knife overhead. All that's left is to strike between her breasts. Calm down. This isn't what you want, Shiki. I can hear her voice. The core of my brain starts to overheat. Shut up. My arm tightens around her neck. She painfully lifts her chin. I can't believe it. With all of her strength, she can't even free this one arm right now. Shiki. Breathing painfully, Arcuide coughs out my name. Thump. My heart beats hard in my chest. This is really fucking sad, man. I pant and pant. My breathing is out of control. My vision is blurry and indistinct. This fire inside of me, I have to release it right away. Panting, I slowly start to move. I move my hips down her stomach. Spreading her legs, I press myself between them. Whoa! What? She looks at me uncertainly. That look makes my head pound. Panting, swelling. Whoa, okay, alright, I didn't think, okay, that's happening right now. Okay? Uh-huh. Her vermilion shaded cheeks, soft neck. Below me, her unparalleled body. My panting fills the air. I can feel her heartbeat. Panting, panting, panting. Her golden eyes seem to suck away my soul. I release her neck and instead touch her breasts, her arms, her legs. My fingers trace the white skin under her clothes, soaking up the coolness of her body. No, this isn't like you, Shiki. Her burning voice, her inviting red eyes. Seeing these things, my mind completely shatters. Oh dear. Okay, this is alright. She stifles her cries as if embarrassed. Frantically, she tries to push me back with the... Alright, this is getting real fucked up, man. Pushing them away, I press her onto the ground. That's like a really fucked up aspect of Roa's influence on Shiki. It just makes him like a lust for just destruction and to violate. It's so awful. Poor Kohaku. Poor Arc. Oh my god. Pushing them away, I press her onto the ground. Would it be better if I had some nails? With both arms pushed back and her figure spread open like a cross, Arcubi looks at me with naked hate in her eyes. Stretched out like this, she looks even more beautiful. Like this, I can't use my arms either. If I let go, she'll rip my throat open for sure. This tension, this balance that makes us seem like we're killing each other rather than me violating her increases the beast-like lust in me. Stop it, stop, or you'll regret it. I won't let her finish. Since my mouth is free, I use that to undress her. Jesus. Breathing wildly, I violently tear the clothes from her body. Shiki, get a hold of your... She squirms, still trying to resist as she trembles in my grasp. Panting. My breath blows across her stomach. She that sensitive. Her whole body reacts. I feel excited. As I strip off her clothes, my tongue dances teasingly along her white skin. Shiki, no. She struggles harder, but I'm stronger than her right now. I won't let her resist. I continue removing her clothes. In the middle of it, her bra gets stuck on her chest, but I simply tear it off. Jesus, man. Her breasts move as I do so. The world-shaped globes are bared for me to see. I bite down on one of them. Aha! She lets out a gasp. Her entire body arches like a bow. Or like a bow. I don't care. I run my tongue along the flesh between my teeth, relishing the taste. Shiki, stop. Her voice becomes a bit hotter. Her pink nipples harden. Just like the hardening of a man, her nipples seem to stiffen, regardless of what she's thinking. What a simile. What the fuck. She must be embarrassed about it as she stifles her voice. Shiki, if you do this afterwards... Ignoring her voice, I continue to lick her gorgeous breasts. Her face starts to contort. Breast is firm. The more I push my face into it, the more it pushes back against me. It's just, Her white breasts turn a light shade of red. I'm sorry, I'm just so thrown off right now. I keep sucking. Her heated voice. Body glistening with sweat. At this point, I don't even know why I'm still reading. Her shaking head, her pain gasp. I know it's gonna drag out for like 5 more minutes at least. I don't know why I'm still reading it. My tongue plays a longer slopper. I'm just not gonna read. We're gonna read together. In our heads. I will give commentary. I guess. Uh-huh. As you should not. Well, I mean, he does like you, but this is not how you... Nope. Destroys any reason I have left. I see a lot of like familiar phrases I've seen in both Stay Night and Tsukihime, I guess, that Nasu continued to use. Or maybe they're just probably written the same in Japanese and thus translated the same into English. Maybe for simplicity's sake, I don't know. It could just be the exact same phrase he's used in Japanese. Oh dear. If it was me, I would never let her cry. Wait, what the fuck? It's crazy, because he's like... Why is she crying? It feels... Because it's like between Shiki... Because obviously Shiki doesn't know the crazy influence going on him with Roa, but that's like a really fucked up thing to throw in there as well. I'll be fucking damned if I keep this shit up. Nope. I can't do it. Thank you, Shiki. Holy shit, that was intense out of nowhere, dude. Holy fuck. Because not only do you have Art going through her whole bloodlust thing, and then she calmed down, you know, seeing Shiki, like, right there. Destroying the dead there. Shiki just goes full Roa influence mode, you know, wanting to violate Arc, saying to kill her, just that destructive impulse. Jeez, dude. Because that's the thing, like, as far as the link between Shiki and Roa, because it's not like, because you have the aspect of Roa, and then you have the aspect of, like, original Shiki as well, like his inversion impulse. Like, because, like, in a way, the way, like, original Shiki can see the lines like Shiki does, it seems like our tonal Shiki is also prone to the inversion impulse that is inherent to the tonal family rather than just completely from Roa himself, right? Because you combine Roa's emotions for Arc and that kind of drive towards her, along with original tonal Shiki's inversion impulse and just him as a person, and that amalgam within Shiki with the mystic eyes of that perception. It's just a big mess of just, gosh. But yeah, I don't think I've said that before or thought about it like that before, but that makes total sense, especially that they've established in this route that original Shiki can see the lines like our Shiki does. So it would make sense for the reverse to be true as well, as far as from original Shiki, that aspect being a factor, which makes total sense. I pull back from her body. The headache disappears and my heart returns to normal. The urges rampaging inside me have also disappeared, and I finally start to comprehend what I just did. What have I can't believe it. But the memory is all too clear. How I pushed her down. How I choked her and held my knife over her. And the disgraceful things I did afterwards. I don't know what to say. Akihito adjusts her clothes and stands up. I don't know how to apologize. Just saying sorry, how can that make it up? Akihito, Don't worry about it. I'm the one who should apologize. Wait, what? She looks away uncomfortably. What are you saying? I was the one who did something wrong. If only I had been stronger, that never would have happened. No, I don't think it was something you could have resisted because you saw my mystic eyes. Eh? Mystic eyes? Like Nero's eyes? Exactly. I was insane earlier. I was so thirsty I couldn't control myself. That's why I found some of the dead and tried to replace that urge with the urge to destroy to stave it off. Okay, makes sense. Back then I was unable to hold myself back, so that's why you saw my mystic eyes when you came. Certainly I felt odd from the time I saw your golden eyes, but that's just that. With my own will. No, that's wrong. Shiki, my mystic eyes of enchantment completely captivate whoever looks upon them. I think that's why you started to feel all those sexual desires. That can't be right. Because even if she wasn't controlling me, I might still like her. Anyway, this was all because of my carelessness. I'm sorry, Shiki. I manipulated your body without any regards to your feelings. Wow, the fact that she's apologizing. Okay, maybe that was an aspect to it too, but you know, we know like the actual thing, but I guess that's a factor too. And the fact that she's apologizing, it's just, oh, it feels bad, man. Her gaze shifts away as she says this. Being apologized like this hurts my heart. Because I didn't feel like I was manipulated at all. Rather, it seems like I used it to obey my own lust, right? Akihito. Don't apologize, Shiki. This was all an accident. I'll forget about it, so please forget about it too. I think it's better for the both of us that way. Saying that, she starts to walk quietly. Arcuid? I think this is enough for tonight. I killed all these dead tonight, so it's probably useless to search any further. Yeah, I guess that's true. That's fine, but what do we do with that mountain of dead bodies? If someone finds it, there will be trouble. There's no need to worry. When something becomes a vampire and dies, it won't leave a trace. Those who refuse to return to the earth become ash to be scattered in the wind once they die. They will return and disperse on their own in a while. Oh, okay. There you go. Without turning around, she disappears from the alley with weak steps. I can't stop her now. I still feel the sensation of Arcuid on both my hands. Idiot. What a stupid idiot I am. I groan to myself. In the alley which became a stage of tragedy, I look up at the moon in remorse. And now Shiki calls himself an idiot. Looking at the moon in remorse. Fitting. Day 10, Vermilion Crimson Moon 2. Okay. It's morning. I open my eyes and put on the glasses near my bed. Looking out the window, I see a cloudless blue sky. Even though a flawless morning greets me, I can't help but feel down. There's no need to wonder why. What happened with Arcuid last night sticks in the back of my mind, and the accompanying guilt troubles me. She said we should just forget it, but I can't forget such a thing. I look at both my hands. Those fingers still remember how Arcuid felt. Even now, I remember the texture of her skin and her cool, gliding body temperature. I wasn't thinking at all back then, but I understand it all now. After doing such a thing, Arcuid said to forget and pretend like it never happened. But while I regret it totally, I can't even forget one little bit of it. What I regret is not being able to control myself back then. If I didn't touch her like some animal, if I touched her more like a human, how would things have... I knew it. I didn't lose myself by looking into her golden eyes, yup. I didn't realize it, but I was caught up in her a long time ago. To realize such a simple thing just now. And that's what's fucked up too, like, cause Shiki's a good kid, right? And he thinks now it's like, oh, it's cause I liked her, and I've been denying I liked her, which is also true. But it's also like, it's not all his fault, man. It just feels bad because he can't know the full truth of it. The morning in the Tono Mansion is the same as always. I don't even know the full truth of it, so yeah. Hisui comes to wake me. Akiya and Kawaku-san are in the sitting room and we greet each other briefly before we go to school. The same as always. Yet I feel so empty I can't even respond properly when people talk to me, and I leave the mansion vacantly. Alright. The students streaming through the gate are all bright and cheerful. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Oh yeah, today's Saturday. My sense of time has totally disappeared since Arcuid came into my life. The first time I met her was on a Friday. A week ago in the morning, she was waiting for me at the intersection in front of school. She was smiling, I think. Come to think of it, she was smiling. Even though she was waiting for the one who killed her, she was waiting for the killer Tonoshiki with excitement in her eyes. I wonder why. If she comes tonight, maybe I'll ask her. An interesting thought. After thinking aloud, my spirits sink further. She probably won't come to the park. The feeling that last night was our final meeting turns over in my mind. My heart is heavy and everything else simply feels empty. I may not ever see her again. The regret hangs around me like a leaden chain. Leaden. I sit at my desk. It's about 5 minutes until homeroom starts. I stare outside blankly, not wanting to do anything. Yo, delinquent. You skipped class yesterday. What the heck were you doing, Tono-kun? I let out a heavy sigh. Usually I would, but today I don't feel like talking with Arihiko at all. What's with you? You don't look happy at all. You didn't come to school yesterday and now you come back an empty shell. If you're like that, school's no fun. Arihiko slumps his shoulders exaggeratedly. Arihiko, sorry, but can you leave me alone today? If I'm not here, you can always talk with Senpai. Actually, isn't that better for you? Huh? Senpai? I don't know any third-year students. Oh boy, okay, so... RIP the suggestion, I guess. I don't know what's going on with CO now, I wonder. What are you saying? CL Senpai's in third year, not second. Well, sometimes you think she's younger, but Senpai is a Senpai after all. CL Senpai? Who's that? Are there any foreign students at our school? He seriously tilts his head in thought. What are you saying? Senpai is Japanese. No, wait. No one ever said she was Japanese. Well, no one said she was, but everyone called her CL Senpai. That's what I'm saying. Who is this Senpai? What's wrong, Tono? Are you sick or something? I can't hear his banter. What? That's right. Why didn't I realize such an obvious inconsistency? Xiao isn't a Japanese name at all. Even though I know her, I don't even know her full name. I don't even know what class she's in. To begin with, when I first met her, why did I feel like I knew her for a long time? My chair clatters as I quickly stand up. What's wrong, Tono? You've been acting too funny. Going to the office. Sorry, but please say that I'm here during attendance. Turning away from Arihiko, whose head is tilted in confusion, I dash out of the classroom. I investigate the third-year roster for the name Xiao, but as expected, it isn't anywhere to be seen. To be sure, I asked the teachers in the office, but none of them remember Xiao Senpai. Oh, Xiao. Somewhere in another world, you're doing just fine. But who knows? Maybe she'll be fine? I don't know. Probably not. I hope nothing bad has happened to her. I mean, I know she's who she is. She's not gonna die or anything, but I have a feeling she's gonna pop up. Something's gonna happen. Roa, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she left. Who knows? The end of classes. Being a Saturday right after homeroom, all my classmates scatter and run out of the room. I see no reason why she'd leave, but I guess we'll find out. Saturday is finally here, but I don't feel like doing anything. Feeling like the dead, I walk home by myself. Welcome back, Shiki-sama. Hisui greets me as I return. Actually, one reason I could think Xiao might leave is if maybe she didn't come to any conclusive evidence that Shiki was linked to Roa. That could be a reason, but it seems that she's probably suspected him from the beginning, which is why she ended up at that school, so. And she took interest in him even in this route, so anyway. Even though she's waited all this time, I can't even return a greeting and I go to my room. Dude, this day went by fast. I feel like tonight is about to be... I feel like this night is not going to end here. After dinner, I return to my room. It's close to the promised time with Arguate. Right, of course, because we have to do that. Shall I be going? I don't even know if she's coming. But still, I swore never to break a promise again, so I have to go. I arrive at the park shortly before 10. There's absolutely no one here. Sitting on the bench, I stare at the clock and wait for Arcueid to come. I'm not gonna go back to the mansion. Wait. Yes, wait. I was like, do I want to see what happens? No. It's now 11 o'clock. The park is completely still, as if entirely frozen. There's no fresh flow of air, nor the presence of anyone approaching. There's no sign of Arcueid coming. Time passes by meaninglessly. Actually, me continuing to wait here might be the bad end. Who knows? I guess I'm gonna wait. It gave me another choice, which I find interesting, so I'm gonna keep waiting. Oh boy. Both hands on the clock approach the top of the dial. It's between 2 hours since I came here. It's been 2 hours, yet there's no sign of Arcueid. All my saves being eaten. Still wait. The clock's hands point to 12. It's 2 hours past the promised time. Whoa. I slouch on the bench and sigh. She might not come after all. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't feel like going back. Yeah, I'll wait until the morning. Damn it. I lie on the bench in frustration. And then... Huh? Wait a minute. I think I saw a flash of white behind the rest area. Oh? Besides, It moves back as soon as I saw it. Oh, I stand up from the bench and stride towards the rest area. As if it knew it couldn't hide anymore, the white figure shows its face. Oh boy. I was so afraid. I was like 90% sure it was Arc, but I was so afraid Roa was gonna pop out like white, like still wrapped in the bandages. Like, oh no. Thankfully, it is amazing, beautiful Arc. Ahaha, you found me. Arcuid appears more cheerfully than ever. Arcuid, you... Huh? What? You really came? I blurt that out because I still can't believe it. Of course, we promised. I came about 10 minutes before you did. She looks the other way. 10 minutes before, but I came before 10 o'clock and she came earlier? Why? If you were here before me, why didn't you tell me you were waiting there? I wanted to watch you while I was hiding. I see. Even though she doesn't act any different, she might be bothered by what happened last night. That's why she couldn't face me directly and was hiding. Sorry. That's right, it's not that simple. Yeah, you never even knew I was here. I was waiting for you to notice. I was planning on meeting in a different way this time, but you ruined it by just spacing out. Eh? Ruined what? Arcuid, you weren't hiding because you felt awkward? Why? I was a little bored, so I wanted to play around. There's something both like it's great that, well, it's not, because she blames herself, so she wasn't even mad at Shiki. So in a way, she's like just immediately forgave that. But in another way, it's also like sad. It's like, why didn't that affect you more? He says it lightly, not even knowing an inkling of the frustration I felt. Play around with me, you. The joy I felt from meeting her fades away instantly. It's not a mood where I have to think about what I should do after seeing her. As usual, she's acting at her own pace without even understanding how I feel. Ha! I fill my lungs with a deep breath of night air. I'm less angry than surprised. Maybe I'm just relieved she is acting normally. Well, normal for her. As proof, it feels like my heart laden with impurities has just been cleaned anew. Man, you win. Really? I thought you were just zoned out. No, not about the hide and go seek. Oh, well, it's useless putting it into words. I'm glad you came. To be honest, I thought I'd never see you again. Eh? You thought so after only waiting 2 hours? Okay, this is a question I want to ask y'all. So, there's been a lot of choices that, in some, like one instance in Steel Rod, I went back to see it, which was the very disturbing Kohaku scene. And while that has scarred me, I'm quote-unquote glad I went back. So in that sense, like, would y'all be interested in me, like, after I finish playing maybe the entire game, I don't know, maybe after this route I could do something. Were there any choices in particular that are really, really good that you would want me to go back and check out, and maybe I can make a supercut or just like a highlight video of me checking out all those scenes? Maybe when I finish the game, although that might be a lot at that point. Who knows? But let me know if you want something like that, because, you know, the save system being how it is, I end up missing a lot of bad ends and also alternate choices. But yeah, feel free to let me know if there's something like that that you would want me to do. I'd be down for it. So, let me know. That's not it. It's because of last night. I thought we would never meet again. That won't do, Shiki. I said to just forget about it. Arcuid says this weekly. Idiot. I'm such an idiot. I selfishly thought she was acting completely normal. But I was wrong. She was acting that way so I wouldn't feel bad. Okay, she was putting on a facade. Yeah, it's this. Because how could that not affect her, dude? That was so fucking... Sorry. I was an idiot. I don't have any right to yell at you anymore. I said it's okay. If anyone is to blame, it's me. So just forget about it. Isn't that better for the both of us? She tries to fool us both by speaking cheerfully. Fool us about last night. Fool us about how bothered she is. But telling me to forget with that expression. How can I forget? No, I wasn't apologizing for last night. I'm an idiot because I can't forget about something I should forget. Shiki? Since this morning, all I thought about was you. All I could think about was how I should apologize to you and what to say after I saw you. So I can't just forget about it now. Arkui looks away. I can't look at her either. After sensing I said something I shouldn't have, I can't look into her eyes now. She doesn't respond. I can't either, and a long silence begins. I don't know how long the two of us stood there. Arkui nods slightly. Yeah, to tell the truth, I couldn't forget about it either, Shiki. Of course, Arkui blushes as she says this with some difficulty. Arkui, she looks so cute doing that. Oh, wait, we about to get sweet? We about to get confession? As soon as I think that, Arkui looks around her. I don't know when this happened, but we're surrounded by human shapes. What? I can't think since it was so sudden. Wait, surrounded by the dead? Surrounded. Get ready, Shiki. Whoa, alright, 0 to 100 real quick. Alright. Man, we went from a potentially, like, really wholesome moment of talking about feelings to, oh, the dead are on us. Alright, well, take your glasses off, Shiki. If you don't fight, you'll just die. Fight? Then if you take off your glasses, you'll get it, won't you? They are the dead without even a finger's worth of normal blood. Damn. I quickly take out my knife and take off my glasses. Like she says, the 5 people surrounding us are just scribbled lines making a human shape. Why? You said you killed them all yesterday, Arkui. Yes. These are the ones I destroyed yesterday. Whoa. She narrows her eyes and glares at them. They advance sluggishly. Then were they only pretending to be dead? Of course not. I'm not weakened enough to be fooled by such tricks. But the fact that I made a mistake can't be excused. I didn't make sure they dissolved into ashes at the end. Oh, man. Roy, you crafty fuck. Shuffle. They close the circle around us. My fingers grasping my knife tremble a bit. To be blunt, there's no pressure coming from these dead. Compared to a monster like Nero, they're practically nothing. But 5 of them. Can I fight this many dead, this many things who were once human? That's another aspect too. Because it's like, yeah, they're dead, they're not who they were, but, you know, they still were people, so I get Shiki's dilemma there. Shiki, if you hesitate, you'll die. They are no longer alive. Once they have their blood sucked by a vampire and become the dead, they can no longer return. They are just dolls used by the vampire. And in that sense, you've actually been doing the right thing by making sure they're dead. Because it's basically just desecrating their corpse at this point. There's no sin in killing them. I hear her voice from behind me. It seems she moved to protect my vulnerable back. We're not dead. It'd be like dead, because they're dead, and they're the dead, and then you kill them again, so dead. That was stupid. Wait, what do you mean? I mean, there are many ways to magically control a dead body. It's easier to infuse a human corpse with magical energy than animals or intangible objects, so it's very convenient. Fortunately, I don't have time to go over the details. They're coming. Well, there you go. I sense her moving away. It's crazy that it's easier to infuse a corpse than an animal or an inanimate object. I guess that kind of makes sense, but that's surprising. At the same time, they attack. Shapes of death attack. They simply fly forward, arms outstretched. I take a huge leap to the side and evade their attack. Then I sense something terrible behind me. Why, you! I whirl around with all my strength. There, one of the dead is trying to punch me. The dead's body is almost devoid of places without lines, which lets me slice anywhere on its body. What's more, its movements are incredibly sluggish. Far easier than anything that came out of Nero. Also, yes, I realize that "it's" there is supposed to be not apostrophe. That's fine. The dead charge me. I can kill them with ease. Evading the swinging arm, I aim for the first one's unprotected lower left abdomen. In the line of blood vessels there, I stare at the heart called its point. Damn it! Thrash. The knife doesn't reach its target, only slicing through its upraised arm. The one-armed dead doesn't even pause its attack. The other dead also comes in, showing no fear. The one-armed dead attacks. Right when I evade that dead, the other dead jumps on me from behind. Ah, grinds. From behind like a piggyback stance. The dead bites on my neck. Whoa! Not to suck my blood or anything like that. Just like a beast trying to kill its prey by biting its neck off. Gah! Can a human mouth bite through a neck? The dead's mouth is shallow. It bites with its front teeth rather than its back. As a result, the dead's teeth actually break off. Wow. Even still, it tries to bite through my neck with its flat mouth. Holy shit, dude, that's fucking gnarly. It doesn't really hurt. It's just disgusting. I feel like that would still hurt. The one-armed dead walks towards me. Maybe Shiki's just that good right now. I have to kill the dead behind me or I'll die. The method is simple. As it tries to continue biting my neck, I can just slice my knife through its face. But that means I am going to kill. I understand. They aren't human, they aren't even living, but I still feel it's wrong. How naive. Even if they are corpses, they have the shapes of humans and they move like them. It still seems mistaken to kill them as another human being. Shiki? I hear Arcuete's voice as she deals with the other 3 dead. Without thinking, despite the one in front of me, I look over at her. And I see something terribly unbelievable. Arcuete is wounded. Even though they move so sluggishly and would only take her a second to kill, Arcuete is being pushed by these dead. She breathes heavily. Her footwork is also unsteady and she's having difficulty evading those attacks even I can evade. Yeah, Arc has been having a lot of trouble, dude. Even versus these dead, even from like the first time we saw her like fight one of the dead, she still ended up super wounded and out of breath and... oh boy. The dead rips into her arm. She counters. She tears the body in 2 from the head to its waist. There you go. Both halves crumble to the ground. At the same time, the other waiting shades of death pounce on her. The crash, she lands on her knees. I can tell she's breathing wildly from this distance. There, the 2 dead attack. They kick her kneeling figure in the face and makes her collapse on the ground. After that, they carry a dull, expressionless smile as they get on top of her. Stop. She lies there, arms outspread like a cross. Like when I did those disgraceful things to her last night. Yikes. Stop it, you fucking bastards. Stab. I cut through the face of the one behind me, still trying to bite me. I pierced the lower right abdomen of the one in front of me, which had strangely paused. That's where its death is. Not even looking at it, as it crumbles away, I turn around and kill the faceless dead behind me. Nice. I run. The ones around her realize I'm coming and get up and attack. Let's go, Shiki. No problem. I slice through their points of death as they attack me. GG. After it's all over, I start to catch my breath. The 4 figures crumble away into ash. The one Arcuete killed earlier makes 5. Killed. Without hesitating, I stop them completely. I can't think clearly. Probably because regret and self-admonition are screaming at me. My panting fills the air. But it's still good. It's better than her getting hurt. For the first time, with my own free will, with the mind of Tonoshiki, I use this power for someone else's sake. I keep panting. Aoko would be proud. I can't seem to fully catch my breath. I can hear her slight wheezing mixed in with the wild breathing. Arcuete. Turning around, I see her full of pain and on her knees. Are you okay, Arcuete? And it's interesting to compare him saying that compared to like what he did before with Nero. I guess he truly feels he was the one in control and the one who did it now. Are you okay, Arcuete? I dash towards her. She's curled up as she breathes like something who can do nothing else. What's wrong? You're covered in sweat. Did your wound... oh. Did your wound... oh, wait. Did your wound open up? They both have wounds that could open up. I kneel and try to look at her face. She Ki. However, she has a hand covering it. I can't see her face, so every time she does that, it pretty much means all I can see is the bloodshot red eyes through her fingers. Her suffering isn't normal. The way she's breathing intermittently isn't natural. A hungry breath. Bloodshot eyes. Her waving hair. Arc. Chill. Sensing danger, I step back. Yet far faster than my movement is her teeth closing in to suck my blood. Holy shit. Whoa. Oh my god. Arcuite's arms stretch out. Like that, she holds my body. My breath stops in my throat as I call her name. Her bloodshot eyes. Her sharp teeth like a beast's. The overwhelming pressure that drains me of any will to resist. The thing with its teeth nearing my neck isn't the woman I know. Let's not repeat last night's. I can't do anything. I can't even lift a finger. I'm going to be eaten. This is what it means to be preyed upon. Her teeth push against my neck. The only thing filling my mind is fear. Shriek comes out. Oh, I almost think for an instant how pitiful it is for me to make such a sound. Maybe it was just my imagination, but it feels like she freezes in place. Before I can even confirm this, wham! A violent explosion erupts before me, and Arcuite's body is smashed sideways. What the fuck? Don't tell me. What? As if she was hit by a car, she was blown back several meters. But she gets up like it was nothing. Arcuite stands there stunned. I can't even think what to do either. And there, we're going to suck his blood. A cold, scolding voice. Oh, okay. What? Oh man, I can't decide on a good voice for Roa, because the one I did in CL route was a little too like shrill, and the one I did last part I think was deeper, but I can't remember it fully right now. That is maybe like a serpent, like that. That is your true nature, Arcuite Brunstun. The merciless voice towers from above. Oh wait, no, that's CL. Oh my god. Yo. I thought Roa was fucking with her for a second, but of course he wouldn't just come out like that. He's more strategic than that. Okay, so that's just straight up CL out of nowhere, dude. Damn, alright, so this is what I wanted to. I look up at the moon. I'm just imagining CL with that voice. There stands the robed figure from that one night. Like she's trying to disguise her voice so Shiki won't recognize her. Senpai. There's no mistake. No matter how I look at it, it's Xiao Senpai. She doesn't even look at me, but she glares at Arcuite crouching far away. Even if you destroy your kin, you cannot change the fact that you are a vampire yourself. I don't know why you drew him close to you, but didn't you think it would end this way? Her voice is completely different from normal. Neither strict nor kind. Her emotionless voice is horribly devoid of any humanity. Without making a noise, Senpai descends from the streetlight to the ground. Usually it's nothing I mess with, but I will not overlook you trying to kill an ordinary person. It isn't part of the plan to fight you, but if there is a need, we can settle our score. Don't be ridiculous. I don't want anything to do with you. And she looks at Senpai hatefully. Never intended to kill him. That does not sound convincing at all. It's not like you don't realize what you did earlier and what kind of yell he gave out when he saw you. I don't care if you hate... I don't care if you hate me, but you took your insanity and directed it at him. Shall we ask him how he felt? With a turn of her head, Senpai casts a glance at me for the first time. Arcuite averts her gaze painfully. Silence fills the park. A footstep. The robed Senpai takes only one step towards me. Get back, vampire. You had no right to stay by his side from the beginning. What? That's not true. I don't know who Senpai is or what happened to Arcuite earlier, but I can at least declare this. Because I myself want to be by her side. You're wrong. What's with you coming out of nowhere wearing weird clothes and speaking like you understand everything? Arcuate is definitely a vampire, but she hasn't drunk blood even once. That was probably just a joke, and you don't even have any right to. Please be quiet, Tono-kun. She hasn't drank blood even once? Yes, certainly these past 800 years, there's no record of her having any victims. However, just shut up. I don't care to listen to whatever strange story you... I don't care to listen to whatever strange story you have to say. Look, if you try to get in her way, I'll not forgive even you. After all, I'm helping her because I want to. It's none of your business to interfere. Tono-kun, you... An inkling of emotion enters her voice. I understand. If you say so, then I won't do anything else. However... Senpai changes her gaze to Arcuate. Arcuate looks away, not at me or Senpai. As he said, Arcuate Brunstad, do you still intend to be by his side after this? Arcuate doesn't answer. She raises her head to look at me once and then runs off into the night. But why are you leaving, Arcuate? I start to run after her, but my feet don't leave the ground. Senpai walks slowly over to me. I won't let you follow her. I can't let you be killed, Tono-kun. In her hands are thin, rod-like blades. One of them stands by my feet, pinning my shadow to the ground. Oh my god, that is so fucking cool. You cannot move until that is removed. No matter how hard you struggle, your shadow will struggle just as hard not to separate from you. Stop fooling around, I'll lose her. Yo, the Ciel, suddenly DBZ. The Ciel using black keys like that? What the fuck, dude? She pinned his shadow. What the actual fuck? I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that before. That's wild. I grip the blade below me. But no matter what, I can't pull it out. I forgot to mention this, but I'm the only one who can remove it, so please give up. Saying that, she stops in front of me. I glare at her. She takes in my gaze, then sighs. Geez, really? Why do you go so overboard so much, Tono-kun? Eh? Senpai. I know. I don't hate her myself, but this is for both of your sakes. I will let you go soon, so please listen to what I have to say for a while. She looks up hesitantly. This is the leisurely senpai I know from school. Is that why, even though I still can't grasp the situation, I start to calm down? This is abrupt, so I'm prepared for you to hate me. But I have something I have to tell you. Very sorry for restraining you like this. Senpai bows her head. He's dressed strange, but senpai is still senpai. It's okay. I'm not angry, so please don't it's okay. I'm not angry, so please don't apologize. You've already helped me once, senpai, and I want to ask you some things as well. That does help. But what would you like to ask me, Tono-kun? Isn't it obvious? Just who are you, senpai? Dressed like that and smashing away Arcuate, and I'm the only one who remembers you at school. Senpai gives a sigh in response. But let me ask, Tono-kun, what do you think about me? I've only heard some things from Arcuate, but the church and stuff. That's right. As you know, I am an exorcist of the church. My specialty is hunting vampires. I can't answer anything else, but I think that is enough for you. Enough? Why would someone like you even come to my school? If you wanted to exterminate vampires, wouldn't you be searching the city like Arcuate? No, there was a reason for me coming to your school, Tono-kun. Right, since this overlaps with the talk I want to give, I will ask the questions from now on. Tono-kun, you seem to have teamed up with her, but do you know anything about what she's after? Yeah. Well, I heard he's the old type of vampire who drinks the blood of humans to expand his territory. It seems you know about the two main classifications of vampires. And I think you know about how he is imperfectly immortal. Yeah, about how he needs to drink blood to maintain his body. But on the other hand, as long as he can drink blood, he'll never age, right? Yes, but you can't say he's immortal in the end, can you? Besides, there are ones for whom drinking blood does not maintain their body fully, and there are some that are exterminated by us. You can't call something that can die like that immortal. Well, certainly, he's not immune to death. I don't know what Senpai's trying to get at here. Is this related to why you came to my school? Of course. Please wait until I'm finished. Okay, but if you could give me the short version, I'd appreciate it. Oh, really? If that's the case, then I'll explain as directly as I can. Senpai seems a little disappointed. Then a simple explanation. Anyway, the immortality of the vampires known as dead apostles is very unstable. For them, it is merely a prolongation of their lifespans many times that of normal people. It's funny how Shiki says here, can you give me the short version? Because I think in Ciel's route is when she gives us the long version when we're talking with her. Yeah, that's kind of great. Question. Not only are their lifespans long, but they also have unnatural powers. Is there any relation? Not really. Their individual powers are things they had when they were human, strengthened over hundreds of years. Continuing their studies from their human lives gives them these extraordinary powers. The dead apostles each have different goals. What they each decide to study is different. Because of that, there was one who seriously studied immortality. He became immortal, yet he still researched it? Yes. The instant the dead apostles become vampires, they assume they have reached the limit of immortality as humans. However, he felt that it was just a degeneration. He did not want something so imperfect, and he wanted to come up with a more perfect immortality. Senpai seems to be more engaged. I won't lie, guys, I'm really glad to see Ciel for more than like a few moments. This is nice. Like, doing her out first, I'm still gonna look at her in a special way. Arc is amazing, but I like Ciel. But as long as something has shape, it cannot but perish. There isn't anything that can withstand the passage of time. Vampires merely have a resistance higher than that of humans. Anything living internalizes death the moment it is born. Even if in possession of a body which does not age, as long as it exists, it cannot escape death. To escape death is to die. This contradiction is a problem that cannot be solved. Yeah, everyone has death within them. If there is someone who doesn't, then that's probably something that never existed in the first place. Even Arcuate can die during the day. There can't be anything that cannot die in this world. That's the reason, but he concluded that if he could preserve his existence after death, then he would be immortal. It isn't in our doctrine. Oh, it isn't in our doctrine, but it's what you call reincarnation. There you go. Even if you die, if you could preserve your sense of self and start over again as a new human, that would be eluding death. Well, when he isn't completely annihilated, he isn't dead, so it's actually not quite eluding death. Reincarnation? You mean if he dies, he will start over as a baby? Yes. While he is alive, he chooses his next host, and when it is born, he transmits all the information of his self. This information stays deep within the baby until it matures, or until it gains its intelligence as its own. As soon as that baby has the intelligence to succeed his self, the baby becomes a new vampire that is him. Wait a minute. What's that? Don't tell me that he does surgery on it while it's in the mother or something like that. No, it's not anything medical. Because the instant his body is destroyed, he reincarnates into the body he chose as his next body. I said all of his information earlier, but to use simpler terms, think of it as his soul. It wouldn't be quite correct to say his soul propagates through the air and takes over someone's body, but it's similar to an electromagnetic wave. In this case, the human brain is what does the transmitting and the receiving. His exceptional point is that he took his soul, which is incalculable and something that disperses as soon as it leaves the envelope of the body, and processed it as something that could be transmitted. I'm insane. Insane. Sorry, Senpai. I can't see how this relates to you coming to my school. It is related, because this reincarnating vampire is in your school, Tono-kun. Huh? The vampire I am pursuing and the vampire Arcuate is pursuing are the same. Although she's probably only referred to him as the enemy. I nod silently. Certainly she's only used the word enemy, but she never told me anything about him. Her duty was to kill vampires, but since he appeared, she only pursued him. He has reincarnated 17 times already. She has destroyed him every time. Every time, but even if he dies, he will just be reborn, right? Isn't that pointless? Yes. He is killed by her, reincarnates each time,
and is killed again by her. That cycle has been repeated over and over. If Arcueid had the power to kill not the body but the meaning, then this probably would not be happening.
Well, you know, someone that could take care of that. Senpai looks down a little, and it seems like she is gritting her teeth. I don't know why. However, it appears that Senpai also has some grudge against the enemy like Arcueid does. Indeed. Senpai, what kind of vampire is he?
He was originally a man, but that can change depending on his body he reincarnates into.
Yes.
Troublesome part of this dead apostle is that his incarnations are hard to find. Because he is properly born as a human baby and has parents, he transforms into a vampire only when he reaches the age where he can do everything at a satisfactory level. Until then, that human shows no hint of being a vampire. But once he awakens, he uses the relationships he gained until that time to blend perfectly into society. I heard that the church detects his presence usually after a whole town is turned to the dead.
Wait a minute. Well, then this new host, he would have never realized he is a vampire until he awakens?
Yes, but it isn't like two people sharing one body. The baby born as a human is still him. Depending on its environment, it's a good or bad person. But even that, the instant he awakens, goes away. To sum it up, once he dies, he is reborn into the next body, and once that body gains intelligence, it gains the previous life's self and becomes a vampire.
What is it? Just hearing this, it's terribly scary. That's strange. I don't really understand it, but it's strange. Because what you call vampires, they don't just suddenly become vampires, right? So even if their old self awakens, wouldn't the body still remain human?
No, reincarnation isn't the transmitting of personality, it's the transmission of the soul. Once bitten by a true ancestor, not just the body, but the soul is forever soiled.
It's so crazy when you think about what Roa's doing, and the whole, like, idea of heaven's feel. Like, it's... it's so wild. It is so wild.
Once bitten by a true ancestor, not just the body, but the soul is forever soiled. He transmits all of his information called his soul to his next self, so when he awakens, the body becomes one of a vampire, but what? As you said, just that is too weak. So he selects his next host while he is alive. The family he is born into must meet two conditions, the first being one of wealth.
She's actually saying damn near everything she said in her route when we talked with her behind the school. So I can see with her saying all this. Yeah, I can see, like, it playing this first. It's, yeah. Being born into a family of high social standing, property, and money makes it easier to make the whole town into vampires later on. And there is another requirement. This is the important one, but amongst normal people like us, there are also people that carry special powers. Not like magic, which is a mystic power that can be learned, but rather special abilities from birth.
Uh-huh. Such people are normally called demonic children, or psychics. These special abilities are genetic, so they are inherited, passed on by blood.
Inversion impulse.
He chooses those families that have something not human in their lineages. A family with wealth and influence and inhuman power. Those are the requirements for his host, Tonoshiki-kun.
There's still something weird. I think that story is weird. What's weird is that Senpai is telling me this story.
His name.
Yes?
Oh, yes? Did you say something?
His name. You keep saying enemy and him, but how can I understand that? Can't you tell me his name? I yell at her, not even knowing why I'm angry. She doesn't look flustered at all, or fluttered at all. She only looks at me sympathetically.
No problem. Among the dead apostles, he is known as the Serpent of Akasha. This is due to the serpent being the symbol of infinity and cycles. Shedding its skin and gaining a new body, it was perfect for his name. On the other hand, he is recorded in the church as the Infinite Reincarnator. His human name is Michael Roa Valdamjong. He is also simply referred to as Roa.
There you go. Serpent of Akasha is such a badass nickname. Never heard of it. Of course. It's not like I've ever met him. In short, you came to my school because you knew this Roa was there.
Yes, it truly was a sketchy feeling, but I knew this incarnation of Roa was there. I can sense Roa far better than Arcuid. That's why I came here much earlier than Arcuid and already found out who his new host is.
Oh damn. The voice stops for some reason. Senpai looks at me sympathetically like before. Uh-huh.
I explained this before, but Roa chooses fine lineages and excellent bodies for his next host. And once you find out Roa is in this place, the answer comes naturally when you investigate the families which meet his criteria.
We'll find out why she's telling you this, Shiki.
In this area, there's only one old family that meets his criteria. I don't have to say any more, do I, Tono, Shiki-kun?
That's why. That's why I'm saying this conversation is weird. Ha. Ha. I'm the one laughing dryly. What are you saying, Senpai? That can't be. Senpai doesn't answer. Almost as if she is saying that I am this Roa's host.
But there can be no doubt. The Tono family has something different in its blood. It has power and the latent superhuman ability that Roa needs. The power you used to defeat the dead earlier wasn't human. So, this time's Roa's host is unmistakably Tono Shiki.
I don't understand. I don't understand a single thing she says. Why? How can you be so certain, Senpai?
What? Because I'm the one who decided all this.
She says something I can't understand once more. Oh my god. That's right. She would have chosen the next host, right? That's so amazing that they dropped this here for you. So cool. What?
But it's different. You were the one who killed it, you are the one who survived. Or you were the one killed it, you are the one who survived. The one killed survived, and the one who killed is dead.
Wow. That makes sense. So she knows, like, she knows the truth about, the difference between Shiki and original Shiki. Because, yeah, that's basically what happened between the two of them. That's a great way to phrase it.
I think all the mistakes began there.
She says so as if she's on the verge mentally. Senpai pulls the sword from the ground by my feet.
Ah, that is all I had to tell you.
She was talking about Shiki and Shiki there, right? She might have meant, like, Chio's rope.
That is all I had to tell you. I'll leave the rest for you to decide, Tono-kun.
Leave it to me. But according to your story, To
be honest, I don't know either. You are an incredibly ordinary person, like a student you could find anywhere. My intuition has to be wrong, because you are someone who shouldn't be in a world like mine.
I had a good time being in your world, Tio. With a sad smile, Senpai leaps an incredible distance from me, as if trying to tell me she's someone else now, an unreachable, far distance. I still can't leave Arcuate alone. Bye, Sio. Thank you for the exposition, and you're awesome, and I miss you. Unless I chase after her now, I feel like I'll never see her again.
You're going after her, Tono-kun?
Senpai's voice returns to the way it was when she drove off Arcuate. An inflectionless voice devoid of emotion. Yeah, because you're a person of the church. I know she's an enemy of yours. But a lot of things have happened and I agreed to help her, so I have to look for her. I don't know what she'll do if I leave her by herself. Laughing as if it was a joke, I tell her later and turn around.
Please wait. If you go after her, you will only get killed. You must not see Arcuate Brunstad again.
Only get killed? Well, you may not believe me, but she really doesn't suck blood. She's quite a good person, actually.
I know. Certainly she hasn't drunk human blood. However, that's at an end. True ancestor who gives in to the vampiric impulse once can only fall downward from there.
My feet freeze in place. Senpai? True ancestor, vampiric impulse, what do you mean?
I mean the desire to drink blood. Tono-kun, the vampires called dead apostles mostly became vampires after a vampire sucked their blood. preserve their bodies, they need the blood of humans. In other words, they can't escape drinking blood if they want to live. But the ones that were vampires from the beginning are different. The dead apostles were originally humans like us, so maybe you can still call them human. However, if someone was born a vampire, can you call it human? What are you saying, senpai? I'm asking about arguing. This is about her. I won't let you say you never thought about it. If dead apostles become vampires from vampires, there has to be an origin, an existence that is a vampire from the beginning. These vampires that are a completely different species from us, we call the true ancestors. Those who don't need human blood and have special powers equivalent to, no, surpassing the dead apostles. She is a member of the royal family of the true ancestors. Although they don't really have any rank structure, so saying royal isn't quite accurate. So what, senpai? This conversation, this doesn't have anything to do with me. It does. These vampires known as the true ancestors have a deeper impulse to drink blood than the dead apostles. Oh shit. Her eyes are completely emotionless. Oh, her eyes are completely emotionless. Like mirrors, they show my agitated face. They have a deeper impulse to drink blood than dead apostles? Man. So it's like while they don't necessarily need it, like dead apostles like literally need it to live, the impulse is deeper. That's crazy. Do you see, Tono-kun? The true ancestors can live without human blood. However, maybe a mistake happened in their evolution. Maybe there's no such thing as a perfect existence. But anyway, there is a period when they desire the blood of humans. The instant a human has his blood drunk by them, he no longer remains human. True ancestors are on a scale different from humans as creatures. The powerful life of a true ancestor touches the blood of a human. The sheer difference means a human cannot remain human after such contact. Like a small wave absorbed into a larger wave, that person becomes a part of the true ancestor. To simplify, it becomes a doll. The problem is, there's no reason for their vampiric impulses. There's no reason, so there's no way to stop it. A fatal flaw in an otherwise perfect existence. You can call it a terminal illness. Anyway, they live by resisting their urge to drink blood. It isn't a matter of using the mind to put up with it. They use all their powers to resist this urge and seal it within themselves by force. Because that's the fucked up part. That it's such a deep impulse. It's a deeper impulse for them, as Seal says, but there's no reason for it. Like a terminal illness. Wild. By using their enormous power on themselves, they are suppressing the vampiric impulse. But if something external causes them to lose their power, what do you think happens to their ability to suppress it? It becomes weaker, and thus the urge becomes even deeper. As in, Shiki killing Arc. Shiki, taking the blow for... No, Arc taking the blow for Shiki versus Nero. Yeah, so that's explains why the impulse is really hitting her. If something external causes him to lose power, such as receiving a wound which requires power to heal, or using power to regenerate after being killed completely. Yep. But let's say she has 10 units of power. Say she uses 7 of them to resist the urge to drink blood inside her. But if for some reason she loses 5 out of the 10 units, then even if she uses all her remaining power, she can only use 5 units of power to resist. That's actually a great example. That's not enough. Then what will it take away from her? And what happens to those true ancestors who couldn't resist, senpai? They drink human blood, of course. After that, nothing. Once they give in, they can only keep on falling. Once a true ancestor knows the taste of blood, I hear the urge becomes many times more painful than before. As a result, they aren't able to resist the urge anymore. When that happens, they become the dreaded demon lords. Whoa, this is the first time I've heard that term. True ancestors are certainly a superior race, but since they bind themselves to resist their vampiric impulse, they can never utilize their full powers. Really? But once they fall, there's no longer the need to restrain themselves. Then they just become demons which suck human blood for their own pleasure. Huh. Interesting. Wow. So restricting themselves from drinking blood actually prevents them from utilizing their full powers. So it's like restraining themselves not only in feeding and in falling in that sense, but just from unleashing that full power. But once they do, they don't
they don't have to restrain it, and now they're even more powerful and also blood-sucking demons. So, yikes. I remember how Arcuite appeared earlier. Her bloodshot eyes, her wild breathing, her breath assailing my neck. Eyes. It's a lie. Because she certainly said she's scared of drinking blood. Yeah, she's scared. Because when she does it, she knows she won't be able to stop. If there's any salvation, it is that the urge is instantaneous. The true ancestor keep just one subordinate for the time the urge gets too great to suppress. That's the beginning of those called dead apostles. They are something that is already dead. A vampire kept alive for the sake of easing the pain of the true ancestors. Wow. Man. That is the form of the vampire in this city. But she doesn't have such a thing. No, until now she never needed one. Special among all the true ancestors, she was able to resist the vampiric impulse using her will alone. There's no problem. Once her wound heals, once her body returns to normal, she can resist it, right? Oh. That was cheeky. Technically, but there is a limit, Tono-kun. The vampiric impulse has no end and it will not go away. The resisted urges, which build again and again, will eventually overflow their vessel. The longer they live, the larger the vampiric impulse in them gets. And when they can no longer restrain themselves with their own power, when the impulse overwhelms their power, their lives are ended by others. Man. The longer they live, huh? That is the lifespan for those without lifespans. Damn, what a line. But Arcuite is okay. She's just weak because of me, so after a few days she'll... Perhaps. But she's reached her limit already. Even though she was only actually active for a few years, the amount of time of her existence does not change. The urge which has grown inside her will soon consume her. There's no denying that now is not the time. She, Arcuite's life, cannot be saved. This is her route, damn it. We gonna save her. True end or good end, we gonna save her. Thump. For the first time. Not because of my anemia, but someone else's words. Everything starts to fade away in a haze of dizziness. What does it mean? Even though she knows she's past her limit, she's still hunting vampires here. That's odd. No matter how I think of it, it's odd. It's all lies. Because if she knew she's at her limit, then why would she hunt vampires for our sake? She deals with them not for our sakes, but because it is her purpose. Purpose? Who decided that? Probably the other true ancestors. She was born in the 12th century when there were many fallen true ancestors. The true ancestors could not ignore their fallen kin nor the dead apostles increasing in number. Ah, here we go. That's why they created something solely for killing. Without a need for anything else, the most pure true ancestor created for punishment. That is the true ancestor called Arcuite. Wow, so now that is like just straight up. We know she was, it's been stated before that she was born or like created to hunt vampires, but this is like, to hear the actual reasons, the fact that during that time, like true ancestors have fallen, many had fallen, dead apostles kept increasing, they needed one that could kill them and quell like the dead apostle numbers. And also their fallen kin, the fallen true ancestors, right? Like you can't just let them run rampant like that. Because, you know, there's, I guess, some dignity, of course, in resisting the urge and maintaining, you know, this line that Arcuite is from. But apparently they're all dead now. Apparently, so crazy. She was created solely to kill vampires. Like, what a fucking, like, no wonder she's so set on that and can't really understand pointless things. This has been her whole purpose, not just the entire time she's been alive and doing this, just from the time she was born. She's like a nuclear missile without a mind of its own. Once she leaves the castle, her target is definitely destroyed. Thump. It's dizziness again. You should stop saying that. She's a person. Yeah, because even when she was like stating how, you know, she didn't see the point in pointless things, she couldn't deny like the happiness she's been feeling and, you know, the feelings that have, you know, awakened in her since this meeting Shiki. And, you know, when they went on their dates and had that whole day together, it really Really got her. The burger. Oh man, I wish we got a burger CG, dude. That would have been amazing. Oh man, that was such a good date. Just amazing, pointless enjoyments between them. Like, I totally understand what CL's saying. Like, it makes sense for her to feel that way. But we know Arc. She's special, man. She should stop saying that. She's a person. Talking about her like she's just some sort of weapon makes me mad. No, she is a weapon. In the first place, she existed only for that purpose. So it seems there is now something wrong with her. It is the first time I've seen her talk like that. She never spoke any words before. Huh? Hold on. Never spoke? That's odd. Because she never does anything extra. There's that. Okay, there you go. From long ago, for the past hundreds of years, she has lived that way. Ever since she was born in the old castle amongst the mountains, never changing. And I like how they phrased it. It's the exact same way she phrased it on the date. She never has done anything extra. Now we really have the full context for her existence. Thump. My heartbeat and this dark dizziness. What is this? This unknown scenery, these memories I've never had, they start to fill my vision. The wide castle courtyard. The unadorned grassy field inside the solitary castle. The white girl stares blankly up at the sky. She did not have any extra knowledge or freedom beyond what was needed for her purpose. She only goes outside when her target is determined. She gets taught only the information needed to definitely destroy the enemy. Back, I had to go do something and I needed to take a break anyway. There you go. No one is there. Oh, no one to talk to. Not even another face to see. After killing her target and when she returns to the castle, her taught knowledge is washed out and she is taken to sleep. Wait, what? Without knowing anything, nothing other than killing vampires. Wait, what? Wait, she kills her target, goes back to the castle, and then her taught knowledge is washed out, and that's when she gets put to sleep. Because I remember Ark mentioned earlier, she goes to sleep for like many, many years, and then she awakens, and then she goes to sleep and she awakens. There's nothing, such as the fun of speaking with someone else. Precious moments of seeing someone else and greeting them. She was excluded from all of it. Her power was strong enough to defeat the fallen true ancestors. But it's ironic. She was so powerful that she was shunned by the rest of the true ancestors. Even while praising her as the princess, no one approached her. Even while giving her a castle, her world was only the dark basement. So there was nothing to give her any feelings. Man! Alone, even amongst the true ancestors, and her words make more sense, how she has never really felt like a real vampire per se. I mean, it's more so for the other thing. Yeah, just the fact that she's, even among them, she was so alone and only valued for that one purpose. Man, that's almost enough to make me pity her for living. A parody of life. She apparently had no words or even time of her own. The true ancestors treated her only as a weapon. It makes sense why she loves to just talk so much, because Xiao's like never even heard her talk that much. And with Shiki, she's finally able to just talk to someone, like connect with something else that's living rather than just killing. True ancestors treated her only as a weapon. A weapon has no need for extra functions such as baking bread or doing laundry. If you're going to put on extra functions, you would put on something more fit for a weapon, right? I was always taught never to do extra things. Yes, she has said that before. The reason for deciding everything for herself, for having those empty eyes. That's why she never needed anyone else. No, maybe she never knew about it. All they wanted of her was to be a superior killing machine. That's why she doesn't know anything. I don't mean something big like the meaning of life, but not even the small joy of just living normally. She was always so cheerfully. Even trivial things made her so happy. So I thought she was always like that. But I was horribly wrong. Really was, just enjoying those simple things. Must have enjoyed those things so much. Because it's so fun. I never thought about how life could be fun just by living. Like it was an uneasiness she couldn't understand. The classroom filled with the red setting sun where she asked me those questions with a reserved voice. Even though Arcuate has existed for so long, she knows less about living than we do. If you convert it to the time she was allowed to move freely, it is amazingly short. Her lifetime was spent almost entirely in sleep. Wait, wow. Most likely a deep, dark sleep. This is wild, man. She's only awakened to kill, I mean, at this point, Roa? Really? I have enough fun just talking, you know? It's so cool, we're seeing all the quotes in context now. After dealing with all the fallen true ancestors, she did not leave the castle. Having fulfilled her purpose, the true ancestors sought to educate her properly. However, she could not be free. Because of a slight mistake, she ended up killing all the true ancestors remaining in the castle. Whoa. Oh my god. I'm guessing the slight mistake has to do with Roa. Maybe the one that was taught how to kill vampires really did finish her job until the very end. Wow. In the end, she was left alone. The last true ancestor. After killing all the true ancestors, she sealed herself up in the castle. In the empty castle of the true ancestors, bound with 1,000 chains. Whenever Roa is reborn, she awakens from her sleep and moves around for a short time, right? So just to kill Roa. Amazing. In the middle of that fixed world, she never said a single word. That's why she is a killer down to her very core. Even though the true ancestors which bound her are now gone, she still wanders around with the sole purpose of killing vampires. She probably does not have any other fun. That's a lie. That's not what made her happy. I wasn't watching anything. It's like her words or her happy face. If only I looked closer, I would have known. Of it. I never realized how alone she was until now. All the things we feel and take for granted, such as talking with a friend about meaningless things or the fun that lets you forget time. At the end of the day, lying down on the bed and the peacefulness of just staring at the ceiling. To her, those unimportant things were priceless moments of happiness. All of it. But it's misery. It's her not even knowing how miserable she is. Holy fuck. Yeah. Such a terrible, almost comical solitude should not exist. Lies, all of it. Enough with all these difficult things. I never knew she felt such happiness from trivial things. If I could let her know that such things were things she could always enjoy, that would have been such a great... You still can, bro. Go get her. Tono-kun? Her voice returns my vision to normal. What's wrong? You suddenly went quiet and spaced out. Were you listening? No, sorry, I don't remember. I heard you speaking, but it felt like someone else was talking. Senpai nods doubtfully. In other words, It's okay. I don't care what she did or what she's like. I can't leave her alone any longer, so I'll be going. Wow, turning away from Senpai, I start to walk towards the city. Tono-kun, once a true ancestor fails to suppress the vampiric impulse, there is no hope for recovery. If she appears in front of you, it means she came to drink your blood. I think what she says is the truth for her, but it's a different truth than mine. That's not true, because she hasn't drunk blood yet. No, if I had not have stopped her, she would have drunk your blood. You're wrong, because she stopped. Arcuate was fine. That's why even if you didn't stop her, the result would have been the same. Yes, certainly. She stopped right then. So you're going to be on her side no matter what, Tono-kun? Yeah. Sorry, Senpai. Senpai doesn't answer. I think I hear her sigh. We may end up fighting, you know. Maybe. But I won't apologize, Senpai. There's no response from Senpai. Just her presence getting farther away. Disappearing footsteps. Without turning around, I head towards town, shrouded by night. That was amazing. Wow. Okay. So we just pretty much got the whole context for Arcuate's existence from when she was created. It's such a clinical term, like created. Like And it really just drives home like the purpose why she was created, and she's lived without any true free will, any understanding the even how Shiki thought of it. Like true misery is not knowing how miserable she really is. Like that's a ooh, snap my fingers, man. Um yeah, just basically that, not knowing the simple joys of just living. She was never given an opportunity, being alone even amongst the vampires, and especially when after that mistake, which we know quite a bit about now as far as Roa, the true ancestors ended up being killed. So he's the last one, still going in her slumber, awakening only to kill Roa, even after the true ancestors were gone, still just living like that because she doesn't know any other way. But since meeting Shiki, hey man, go get her. There's no one on the main street. Not arguing, not even just regular people. Damn, this is the same as last night. I don't have any way of finding her. Right now, even though I want to see her so badly, I don't have any means. Even though she's in so much pain, I can't help her at all. Damn it. So irritated, it drives me nuts. Somehow, I have to find her somehow, or else I can't move forward. I gasp painfully. No luck. Even though I ran all through the city, I don't see her. My body is exhausted and I can't get enough air. I breathe harder. The scar on my chest throbs with my heartbeat. Till now, I've never hated this fragile body this much. I hungrily breathe in air. I can't find her. I won't find her just running around aimlessly like this. I struggle for breath. If I have any chance of finding her, it would be... Oh. I'll go to Arcueid's room. If Arcueid is as weak as Senpai says, she had to have returned to her room to rest. I gasp for air. My legs, which ran as hard as they could, finally stop. Trying to catch my breath, I enter the apartment. I grab the doorknob. It isn't locked. Without hesitating, I turn it and open the door. Even though it wasn't locked, there's no one here. Fuck! Damn it! Arcueid, are you here? There's no response. She never locked her door. There's no sign of her having even returned here. Damn, then she's still in town? I hit the wall. But letting it out on the wall is not going to get Arcueid to come out. Where'd you go? Where did you go, Arcueid? There really is a god. I want to ask him for help. Arcueid isn't here. But I can't find her just running around aimlessly. At this rate, I'll never see her again. No, I'm not done yet. I still haven't fulfilled my promise with Arcueid. Promise to help her defeat the vampire, and the promise to meet tonight so we can fight together. Promise. That's right. Still our promise. Even if it's just one-sided, even if it's just me, I'll fulfill our promise. I fucked up. I return to the park. Our promise still remains here. Our unfulfilled promise for tonight remains here. So, if I can't break this promise, and she thinks it's important too, Arcueid will come back here. I can only continue to believe in her and wait here. I fucked up. Time passes by. The clock ticks mechanically, recording the passing of each second. I feel like I'm drowning. My body doesn't want to wait a minute longer. Just sitting here waiting seems like the utmost in idiocy, and I want to run off and search for her again. I didn't feel right about waiting here either. I guess the alley, but my heart is calm. Even though my body urges me to hurry, my heart remains calm. I continue waiting, staring up at the moon. It's horribly quiet. No sounds, as if the night froze everything. A quiet stillness, as if Arcueid and I were the only ones in the entire world. If I can stay in such a place, then it isn't painful at all to wait for any amount of time. So right now, drowning in bliss. Only time passes by. Just 2 hours until dawn. If the day breaks, Arcuate and I will probably never see each other again. And time just passes by. And then like a white rabbit in the snow, she unexpectedly arrives in the park. Wait, really? Arcuate doesn't say anything. With downcast eyes, she doesn't make a move to come closer. Arcuate, I call out to her. She doesn't respond or even look in my direction. I'm so happy she's here. I thought I fucked up. I can't speak. I don't know what I can say to make her smile again. Right now, I feel like any words coming out of my mouth will only make her sadder. Time seems to stretch to eternity. In reality, the ticking of the clock can't have happened even close to 1,000 times. Arcuate lifts her head, looking like she's watching a dream. You wouldn't go home at all, Shiki. So I came here because I couldn't leave you alone. Even though I was really thinking of going back to my room. My instincts were right, but my timing was not. She hesitates as she speaks, but she says this in her usual cheerful manner. Of course I wouldn't go back. Didn't I say I'd keep my promise? I still haven't been any help tonight. That's enough. You don't have to do that anymore. Enough? Just what's enough, Arcuate? Doesn't it go without saying? It's just that I'm a vampire and you're a human, Shiki. I didn't have any right to receive help from you. I didn't understand that earlier, and I would have ruined you if I went a bit farther. That's why. It's enough, she whispers. What are you saying all of a sudden? I was ready for that from the time I agreed to help you. I understood far better than you that you were a vampire. Knowing that, I still said I'd help you. This is nothing I can agree with. Arcuate, you don't need to worry about what happened earlier. We're just tired and weak. An idiot, so I couldn't realize your lie. You weren't in pain because of your wounds, but because of your vampiric impulses, right? Senpai told me all about it. That woman. Since when did agents from the burial agency become so talkative? Less with hate and more with exhaustion, Arcuate gives a deep sigh. I heard it all from Senpai. So I'll be direct. I don't see any problem, Arcuate. You're in pain now, but you'll return to normal in a few days, right? So you don't need to worry. And about before, even though you were in so much pain, you held yourself back, didn't you? So it's alright. Let's just continue like we were until now. With some difficulty, Arcuate smiles weakly. Shiki, you don't understand at all. It's useless to do this. Even now I want to drink your blood. But you only think that. And try hard and resist it. Haven't you tried so hard like that until now? That's true. Until now I've held myself back. No, I was able to. But I guess it's useless now. Even though the only meaning for my existence is to hunt other vampires, I did a lot of extra things. If I didn't know anything, I never would have thought of wanting anything. If I didn't rely on you and pursued the enemy by myself, it would have been alright. It would have been okay if she was by herself? Is she serious? Does she seriously believe that? Such a sad face. Such a sad voice. With such a solitary appearance and on the verge of collapse. It just pisses me off. Step out of it, you idiot! What? Don't be ridiculous. You mean if you pursued the enemy by yourself it would have been alright? Because it was impossible by yourself, because you finally realized there are things you can't do by yourself. You asked me for help, right? And rely on me until the very end. I'll help you. No matter what happens, I'll help you, so don't look like that. Don't say those things. Finally, you finally realize that life is fun. Please don't simply give up on such happiness. Shiki, are you crying? Like hell I am. Why would I cry over you? It's just, she's saying such stupid things. It makes me so angry that my emotions are going crazy. Anyway, we'll continue searching for this vampire, okay? We can defeat this Roa guy, then you can get some rest. Then, everything's solved. There aren't any problems at all. With terribly peaceful eyes, she gives a quiet nod. But it's too late for me, Shiki. You said I held myself back before, but I really didn't. Back then, I only stopped because you became afraid of me.
Many people have been afraid of me like a monster, but I didn't feel anything when hated or feared. It really is strange, you know? I really didn't want you to look at me like I was a monster. I am a monster no matter how you look at me. He forces out a dry laugh. No, it just happened so fast, I was just surprised. That's a lie. That's a lie I can't even fool myself with. Arcueid painfully looks away. Since they told me before that you only hurt the other person when you tell lies that you can't even deceive yourself with. She did say that. That's why I stopped for an instant. I was scared of you looking at me like that. I would break apart if you look at me like that in the future too. So, I won't see you anymore. What? Let's say goodbye here, Shiki. We probably associated too much with each other. He turns around swiftly. He says this while trying not to look at me. Associated too much, huh? Shiki, grab her hand, something. Maybe that's true. For both me and Arcueid. If we never knew much about each other, this would have never happened. I would have just returned to my normal life and she'd have probably kept going by herself. You're right. Maybe we have associated too much already. But I think we're fine like that. Because isn't always being by yourself lonely? Arcueid doesn't answer. She looks so vulnerable. I want to embrace her and support her. But to be honest, I really enjoyed these past few days. I almost died, but it wasn't all bad. So let me help you until the very end. How could I sleep if I knew I left you alone? No, you don't have to worry about me. I will kill Roa no matter what. I will destroy him even if it kills me. You've done enough already, Shiki. This city will soon return to normal, so you don't have to worry anymore. Her voice as she faces away from me has no trace of her usual brightness. I can't bear this anymore. I'm going to stop acting like this. Idiot. That's not what I'm worried about. Saying that, I draw closer to her. There you go. Arcueid tries to escape. I grab her arm from behind and make her turn around. There you go. Shiki. Since you don't understand me unless I'm direct, I'll be direct. Look, I didn't agree to help you to stop the vampire in this city. I really don't have any fine ideals such as protecting the city I live in. You hear that, Shiro? Right, I was only fooling myself. The reason isn't anywhere near to being that noble. I just like you. I wanted to help you, so I agreed to help you. So now, I just can't leave you. I reveal it all. And I embrace Arcueid straight on. There you go. That's what I was hoping would happen. Yay! Oh. Her gasp isn't one of resistance. She simply stands there in astonishment, accepting my embrace. Thump. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to drink my blood. Thump. Shiki, it hurts. My arms hurt. Thump. I'll make it even. Because Thump. I've always wanted you too. Even now, I'm consumed with passion just hearing your heartbeat. Thump. From her arms I hold from her body up against mine, I can feel the beating of her heart. No, Shiki. That's just, for right now, it's only a whim of yours. Thump. Thump. Just hearing the sound makes me want to hug her to death. Even so, if I love you right now, Arcueid, that is my truth. I don't care about what happens later. Thump. Or do you hate me? Thump. Heartbeat skips. No, I can't answer that. Heartbeat stops. In its place, her arms wrap around my back like falling rain. At first, just gently. Then hard as if answering me. Her arms squeeze my body into hers. Oh man, our embrace lasted only an instant. I don't even know which one of us separated first. But as if we planned it, we both let go. She blushes, looking away. Oh man. It's happening! There's only about an hour until dawn. As the night ends, so does Arcueid's time. But I can't bear parting with her anymore. If it can be forgiven, right now I want to... My room. Eh? Can we go to my room? If you say you're going to protect me, I don't want you to go back. A hesitant voice. As I said, my timing was off. Even I can understand what she means. Nodding wordlessly, I walk with Arcueid to her room.
enter before her. Behind me, I can sense Arcue. If I turn around, I know my feelings will rise out of control, but still my mind is almost surprisingly calm. I don't quite understand it myself, but perhaps it is the contradicting impulse of being insane, yet sane that loving someone brings. Arcue, I try to turn around. Before I finish, I feel her hand lightly rest on my back. Don't turn around. Wait just like this for a while. Her voice is exceedingly calm. The hand on my back doesn't move, as if making sure of something. Hey Shiki, do you remember when I first waited for you? Yeah, I remember. The one I killed was waiting with a smiling face. How could I forget? Yeah, back then I really hated you. Despite her words, her voice is very gentle. Arcue? I knew I wouldn't be able to suppress my vampiric impulses by myself any longer. I knew this probably would be my chance, and I pursued Roa. Thought I finally found him, and then someone I didn't even know killed me and ruined everything. Back then, all I could feel was hatred. I found the one who killed me and waited at that road for such a long time. I was thinking you should just hurry up. Hurry up and come here. Once I saw you, I'd make you suffer the same fate. I really did hate you. I hated you so much I thought my chest would have burst with hatred as I waited. The pressure on my back increases. Arcue? But no one has ever killed me like that before. I was a bit curious about what kind of person you were too. And I never thought so strongly about someone before. In the beginning it was just hatred, but it started to slip when I wondered what kind of human you were. Soon I wanted to meet you to find out about you. The one who killed me like that, and for the first time I almost lost track of myself, and I kept wondering. Shiki, what you said before, about how being by yourself is lonely. I thought that wasn't true, but when I waited for you, one who I madly thought about, I felt happy. I wanted to meet you right away, but it turned out great that I held on and waited for you. It was really fun. I was so excited I kept imagining what kind of person you were. She pulls her hand from my back. Dude, even she has been so deprived. Even in her initial hatred, anger of Shiki ruining her plans, killing her, severely weakening her. Even just the thought of waiting for someone, wondering how someone was, the idea of getting to know what kind of person killed her, even that excited her. That's so... Oh my god, she pulls her hand from my back. Thinking back, I started to feel the need for someone else from that time, and I felt unsatisfied with just being by myself. You said you liked me. I think I fell in love with you before we even met. Whoa, man. That is insane. Her voice is just so lovely. There's no need for hesitation. Turning around, I embrace her. Wow. Okay. We'll see how much I need to supercut this. Her lips come together naturally, though I have a feeling this is going to be one of the more wholesome H scenes in this visual novel. Our lips come together naturally. I don't know who started it, maybe we both did. We just did it gently. We kissed to feel each other's presence just a bit closer. Holding my breath, I take in everything about the way she feels. The soft lips, the skin that would never touch anything is touching me right now. Just thinking about it makes my head spin, and touching her is so warm and relaxing. Her body is trembling lightly. She doesn't seem to be scared at all. Her closed eyes, the shade of red on her cheeks is so adorable. I really can't believe it. This Arcue is the one I love so much. I couldn't even imagine that just doing this would make me feel more love toward her. We pull back. Still holding each other, we look at each other in embarrassment. That's cute. That was a kiss, wasn't it? She says this with a deep blush. I knew she said that. Her red eyes looking up at me imploringly. Her golden hair waving before my eyes. Arcue, you don't like this kind of thing? That's not it. My heart's beating fast right now. Thump. Certainly her heart is beating loudly. Or is it my heartbeat? She looks straight into my eyes. But this is troubling. I'm wondering if this is really okay? Is what okay? Because there aren't any vampires that kiss. Blushing, she smiles embarrassedly. That gesture was checkmate. Taking off my glasses, I embrace her once more. Wow, wow. One more time. Not the mutual kiss of before. I do a hungry, searching, stealing kiss. Arcuit sucks in a breath. I don't care. I just can't hold anything back. I kiss her deeply. Arcuit tries to breathe in. I steal even that. I lift her chin and hold her head, covering her lips with mine and intertwining our tongues. I want to become one. That's really sweet. This is really wholesome. Okay, I actually was gonna cut here, but I can't cut here, man. We gotta finish this scene. We gotta finish the day. This has by far been my favorite part of the visual novel so far, man. Just the culmination of everything between Shiki and Arc and getting to this point and learning everything about her, and it's so wholesome, it's so sweet, it's so adorable, man. We gotta finish out strong here, man. We're gonna finish this scene, man. Pushing against Arcuit's mouth as she tries to escape, I slip my tongue past her lips. We're gonna reach the point real soon where I'm not gonna read anymore. Even now, I'm like, can they hear me through the door? My tongue easily dips into her mouth. The sounds we make, the sensations of our touching tongues easily lets me imagine what we look like. As her tongue tries to pull away, I wrap mine around it. Wrapping, intertwining, sucking. The sensation on the tip of my tongue is almost ticklish. Sucking on the base of my tongue feels like absolute zero. Unable to breathe, our throats still try to swallow. Her white throat moves painfully, crying for oxygen. At the same time, her mouth sucks my tongue in, and our tongues mix together even more deeply. Moving my tongue, I draw her lip in further. A breathing, our exploring, all within our mouths. The sounds of our joining fill the air. There's no end. Pleasure from this is enough to make me pass out. Is it because our mouths and tongues are so close to our brains? Meeting like this causes my mind to go blank more than anything Sorry, just the way that line read, it was kind of funny. Pleasure trips a fuse in my brain, threatening to overwhelm me. Her interrupted breathing. At some point, her mouth, which was seeking oxygen, started to tangle her tongue with mine. As our tongues intertwine, they come into my mouth. I realized that was my own voice. I can't believe it. Someone else's tongue is entering my mouth. It's feeling a slight sense of discomfort of something foreign in my mouth. And above that, this overwhelming pleasure which feels like it could kill me. Alright, I'm honestly I'm getting real self-conscious about if people can hear me right now, so I'm just gonna go through, I'll do commentary as I usually do. Yep. I love how reassuring Shiki is being. Damn, Shiki. I mean, hey. You could kind of tell from, the way it looks. Anyway. Yeah, man, she's scared. It's more than just, it's just so new for her. Like, the emotions, the sensation, the intimacy, please, bro, just take it slow, man. Take it slow. I know you're getting worked up, Shiki, but I know you'll do just fine, man. Oh, no. As soon as she says that, I lose all reason. Oh my god. I brutally... Alright, that's... Jesus Christ, Shiki. Alright, never mind. I had faith in you, man, but it looks like you're just an animal. I also understand that Roa's influence could still be a thing, so... In fact, I don't see why it wouldn't be, so there you go. Also, another CG. How about that? Couldn't get one for the burger, but we get like 3 for every H scene. Hey, listen, they wanted to sell copies, man. I get it. I remember the history was broken down for me. How this was really before Type Moon was really a company. This was their Like this needed to do some numbers. Oh, he's not okay. I thought he. I was about to say okay, only the, all right. It's only the tip. I thought he thrust like just blah. It's like I was about to say, dude. Oh my god. Oh, there's another CG. Bends like a bow. There's that again. As if one. I like the lines that remind you that this is a just sweet sweet lovemaking. And I like that Shiki's feeling considerate, like, no, I can't. I have to think of other things, like be strong. I can't, because it's still painful for her, and I want her to feel good from it. Like that's sweet, you know. I like those things thrown in there. My hot magma. I was waiting for it. I was what's gonna be this time? Hot magma. Oh boy. Damn. Inside? Come on, Shiki. We lie there panting. Results of her first time. She really must be worn out. I try and catch my breath. But for me, even after coming that much and pushing myself past the limit like that, it still isn't enough. Oh boy. The ecstasy was more than enough. And my mind is wanting to hold her even more. Even though I would be limp already, normally my okay, alright, listen, alright, we're still going. Alright, hold up. Yo, Shiki. This is all. After what he just did, after the hot magma, he goes. This man is a champion. Anyway. Clean you up, yo. That is. Chick, you nasty, bro. Alright. It is, what's that, the 5th CG? Yo, it makes sense Art gets the most. And this is, like, the most, next to Ciel. It's a very, like, wholesome sex scene. Although Shiki just consistently is a beast. You know, somewhere between himself and Roa's influence. Whoa. Okay, I just had to scroll back because I'm one page ahead, but whoa! I didn't even process that she said that. Hold up. Wait, I guess he didn't before? I think he did. I thought he did. No, he did before, and now she wants. He's saying she wants it now. Okay. All right, you don't have to tell him twice, as if he wasn't going to. Jesus. Slide, slide, slide. Oh man. Oh, that's a sweeter CG. Just the embrace. The body collapses. It takes in, okay, not the time to read. Okay. I'm spent. I look down at her as I breathe heavily. She's breathing peacefully as she sleeps. I start to feel a little embarrassed thinking back on it. I feel no regrets over having sex with her. Well, maybe just a little. I had to be a bit calmer so that I could have enjoyed more of the sensation of her skin and the look of her embarrassed expressions. I guess I still can't. Doing my best only keeping up with her. Actually, I'm not sure a day will come where I can be calm about Arcueid's body. Even today, I don't remember much about what I did. All I can remember is how good it all felt. Tiredness is any indication of how good it was. I'm so exhausted I can't even walk now. Stifling a yawn, I look down at her sleeping face. I really do love her. She answered my selfish love. It might be a different form than the love I'm feeling, but Arcueid needs me too. Just that. Just that makes me extremely happy. Oh man, so sweet, so sweet. Not the fact that I'm needed, but for her, who until now was always alone, for her to need someone else makes me happy. Oh. You done good, Shiki. And you know, with this, you're not alone anymore, Arcueid. Everything starts to sway a little. Seems I'm getting sleepy too. Laying down on my back next to her, I take a deep breath. Like that, I sink into a deep sleep. In the midst of a deep sleep, I have a dream where Arcuite wakes up before me and is doing something terrible. Arcuite is rustling about by herself. What are you doing? I ask. Oh, you're awake, Shiki? Not really, I'm more asleep than awake. Thanks to you, my body isn't quite doing what I tell it to. I see. I'm flattered, but it's a bit embarrassing. Arcuite smiles like a little girl. I think it's strange for me to know what she looks like when I have my eyes closed, but since she looks so happy, I just like to ignore such a trivial thing. Hey, Shiki? What is it? You must be tired too, so you should sleep until nighttime. What if I became a true vampire? What would you do, Shiki? As in, like, suck blood? Such a strange question. But that would never happen. Because you're afraid of drinking blood, right? That's why it's a what-if question. It is only natural to steal other lives to preserve your own in nature, right? So, it's just a story of what if I became like that. Cut it out. That won't ever happen, and I don't like talking about what-ifs. Didn't I say that before? Really? I like what-ifs. Not knowing how things will turn out, yet still having hope at least for that moment. I remember that. That's right, you said something like that before too, Arcuite. Yeah, so I was wondering what I would have done if you were a horrible person. Arcuite? I love you, Shiki. You let me feel this way and enabled me to tell you like this. You really were kind to me. Why? Why is Arcuite crying? Oh, Shiki, I'll be leaving before you wake up. Won't be able to say goodbye directly, so forgive me for doing it this way. Wait, what? The sound of a door shutting. Still sleeping, I hear it close. Ah, fuck. You deserve to be happy. Ark, come back. Come back. I wake up. Bright sunlight streams in through the curtains. Looking at the clock, it just turned noon. Crap, school. Dude, fuck school. I quickly get up. But come to think of it, it's Sunday today. There's no need to go to school. If there's anything I should worry about, it's the fact that I stayed over at Arcuite's place without calling. Oh, he hasn't realized. Okay, because now he's truly awake. Come to think of it, I think I saw a weird dream. Okay. We're going to continue from here next time. Bit of a bittersweet note to end on. Because, wow, Arcuite did just straight out come out and say, I love you, Shiki. And, you know, they had an amazing night of, you know, intimacy, and they had sex and the ultimate intimacy, you know, after, you know, Shiki confessed his feelings and helped her to explore and, you know, made her, you know, realize, you know, that pleasure, you know, being a very considerate lover, like, it's all very sweet, all very nice. But she's left. So even after being made to realize that, you know, still posing the question, what if I sucked blood? What would you do, Shiki? Still, I guess, still having doubts, doubting whether she can truly enjoy this pointlessness or the extra things that she says to be happy. At least that's how it seems. Well, I guess we just have to go get her again. So we'll see next time. Thank y'all so much for watching with me. I am really enjoying this route. Again, as I said earlier, the culmination of everything, seeing their relationship blossom, and Arcuite understand and embrace her own happiness. Not so much right now, but you know, the pleasure and the happiness and the feelings that come with connecting with someone for the first time in her whole existence, like connecting with someone, and to such a great extent as she has with Shiki now. To not be alone, but she's run away, and I get it. I understand. I think why she run away, if that's the reason why. You know, whether she deserves that happiness, or does she still feel that she would just bring ruin to Shiki and just be trouble to him, even despite loving each other, like just a really cruel reality that she feels she needs to enforce. We'll see, man, and we'll see what Shiki does. I'm sure it'll work out somehow, but we'll just have to see. So once again, thank you so much for watching my playthrough. I extremely look forward to continuing the next time I sit down and play, and I'll see you next time. Peace.